So you guys, read the title, read it again, and read it again. If you click on this video, that means you're here to help. I got a situation. This is like a girl's talk. I need to start these because I don't have no friends. And I know my cousin is tired of hearing me talk about stuff that I ain't ready to fix. So like, when you only have one person to advise you of what to do and what not to do, it's really hard. It's really hard to pick between you and the good advice. Let me tell y'all this story real quick. Look, this is what happened. I met a person. I was excited. Well, I met a few people. And this person just stuck. And of course, the shitty person sticks, right? I ran a light because I'm talking to y'all. Ain't no cops, right? Okay. Oh shit, it's a cop. Oh. Is that for me? Oh my god, that was a cop, y'all. I was going to get me some of numbers. So I got me some numbers, and this particular girl, she don't follow me on social media, so I doubt she'll see this. And when she do see this, I feel like we won't even be talking no more, so like at all. So hey girl, I was at the club, right? I seen this girl and she was getting ready to go, and I was like starting to get lit, and I was about to go on a dance floor with this other girl that I had met. But this was like a friendly girl that I had met, that I was like, you know, we was laughing, having a good time with one another. So it wasn't like somebody else I was talking to and then I was just like, oh, let me get this number 2 type shit. No, it wasn't like that. So I seen a girl about to leave, and I was telling her like, oh, where you going? Like, it's still early. And she was like, I'm about to dip. And I'm like, well, why? Like, you not having a good time? And she was like, no. I was like, well, let's have a good time now. So long story short, she was already about to leave, so I just let her go. Well, that's not how it went. What the hell? I didn't let her go because I got her number. She was like, oh yeah, I'm about to go. And I was like, well, let's dance. Like, come on, like we can have a good time now or whatever. And she was a little shy. So I was like, well, somehow I asked for her number. Somehow, some way, I was just like, let me get your number. Does she have a girlfriend? Yes or no? So your job is, if you view this video and if you keep to, I need you to be in them comments telling me just yes or no. That's all. Just yes or no. Okay, so boom. So I give her my number, and then something like about her demeanor, like she was cool, she was talking to me, and you know, we was laughing, and then I was like, you got a girlfriend? And she did one of those smooth like and just like backed up but came back towards me type shit. I don't know, like picture it in your mind of how somebody would react if they have a girlfriend but may not have a girlfriend. I saved my number in her phone under my contact, under my name, and then I said, give me your phone, because I deleted it. So I took her phone back and I deleted my contact. I gave her phone back. Then I'm like, wait, no, you still got my number. I was like, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone. And she was like, nope, nope, nope. So I was like, yeah, my number is still in that dial pad, you know, opening thing. So I already knew she was still had my number. So I was like, nah, delete my number. Like, you got a girl. I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not trying to go that route. And then she was like, nah, I don't. Like, and I just walked away. That's how I remember it. I remember the conversation going like, oh, you got a girl, like, nah, you good, like, have fun. And I left after she wouldn't like delete the number or whatever. It was like a hee hee ha ha though. I wasn't upset. I was just like, you got a girlfriend? No, I'm not doing that, bye. I get a text message from her. I want to say we was texting that night, but I didn't know who I was texting because I got a couple numbers and I didn't really ask for anybody's names at the time of me texting them. I'm the type of person where I'll remember the first 3 digits of a specific person's number, or like the last 4 digits of a specific person's number. So that's how I like save them in my memory, I guess. I don't know. This is gonna be a long freaking video. It's already 9 minutes and I literally haven't gotten nowhere. So she texted me, and we was texting, blah, 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 blah. She called me the next day off another number, blah, 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 blah. So we just having conversation, and I'm like, so you got a girlfriend? And she's like, no, it's complex. So she was like, no. Like, basically how she explained this to me, she said, no, but I'm in a situation. Here is the situation, guys. Don't base it off of what I get ready. No, matter of fact, I'm not even going to tell you yet. Okay, so time goes on, and there's little things that I'm picking up that I kind of like was like, nah, I wouldn't talk to her. Like, I wouldn't like her. Man, she's a Pisces. I'm sorry, me and Pisces are not compatible. I know that off rip, and I've never dealt with a Pisces before. We're not together. We can't be together. I'm sorry. No. Once she told me she was a Pisces, I already knew that I wasn't interested. But I'm on this new I'm trying this thing out where I don't jump into situations. So how this was gonna go about was, okay, I met you, we can be cool. I want to be cool with you. I want to have conversations with you. I want us to hang out. That's fine too. But I don't want to give off that vibe like I like you. Literally the second day, her question was, so when I'm gonna get my first kiss from you? Like, slow down, partner. I don't even know your name, really. Like, slow down, T. So time goes on, and I'm at this point, we talking every day, and she will call me or text me, and then we'll talk. But because of her situation, I just felt like I was a little hesitant to contact her first, so that's why she would call and contact me first. But I called her one time, and I called her phone, and it was off. Like, off as in it hadn't been paid for. Off. But she's able to FaceTime and FaceTime audio me even when she's not within Wi-Fi range. Like, she could be in the car driving and we can be on FaceTime. So I don't really know how that works, but the whole reason why I bring that up is because she called me. Went out one time. We went out the following week with her and her friend. She had called me on FaceTime audio. I thought it was a little weird. I asked her, I said, why did you call me on FaceTime audio? And she was like, I just called you from how we talked last. Like, I just went in my call log and called you on how we talked last. And I was thinking in my head, like, girl, we don't talk on FaceTime audio. Like, this is the first time you call me on FaceTime audio. Now, I also mentioned, or if I didn't mention, the second night that we had conversation. So the first night I met her, I think we texted briefly. The second night she called me, and she called me from a different number, so I did not know who she was. And that was her job phone. So she called me off her job phone, and we had conversation until she got to work. Then now fast forward to the next Saturday, we had went out with her friend, and she called me when we had left. She stayed on the phone with me, and when we went out, we was booed up, we was kissing, we was hugged up, all that extra stuff. So eventually I gave in to the whole liking thing, but that was not my intentions. I wanted to be nice and, you know, meet her for her and get to know her, but that didn't happen that way. Honestly, anyway, I asked her why she called me on FaceTime audio, and she was like, oh, this is how we spoke last. And in my head, I'm like, no, it's not. So right then and there, I'm like, okay, that's lie number one, but what is she lying about? So then I ended up calling her on her phone one day, and I realized that her phone was off. So I'm just like, okay. So she's like, I don't know, embarrassed to tell me that she doesn't, like, she talks on her, if she's gonna talk on the phone and it's not FaceTime audio, she'll talk on her work phone. That's all she really had to tell me. But then, like, I called her and she didn't answer, because I called her and it didn't go through. So I called her work phone and it went through. Or she called me back and she was like, hey, my mom just told me it's something wrong with my phone. And I just ignored it, because I'm like, girl, if your phone is off, your phone is off. Like, if you just want to pay for FaceTime audio, that's none of my business. Like, I really don't care. But the small lies can lead to big lies, or lead me to suspect other things. So fast forward, we're talking, I let that go. I mean, like, I didn't even make a big deal of it at all. Like, I just brushed it past. I'm just like, okay, well, that's a lie. So fast forward, and I'm starting to pick up habits. Okay, so basically her story to me is her and her ex live together, and they sleep in the same bed, and they take care of her ex's daughter together. So she calls it co-parenting, but which is fine with me. I have nothing, and I promise you, nothing against that at all. But the issue I do have is, if this is your ex and you have a place to stay, because she can stay with her mom. She said that plenty of times on how she'll always, stay home, and she'll rather stay home. So my question in my head to her was, so why aren't you home? If y'all aren't together, why aren't you home? So the way she explains it is, she is there to help her ex out. What she does is, she takes the baby to school. She takes first she takes her ex to work in the morning. Then she takes the baby to school in the morning. Then sometimes she goes to her ex's job and sits with her on her lunch break and brings her food. Then she picks the baby up, and then she picks her ex up. So within the time frame, that, like, within the day, that's how it works. And then she goes to work. Like, the concern me was just like, oh girl, when do you sleep? Like, because if I told y'all the times, it would just be like, okay, that's a lot, because it's really no in between time, for real. That's the schedule. That's what she does. And she told me from the minute we met that at least she told me, that's what she said. She said when she did that little oh, at least I told you, she was saying, at least I told you I had a girl, or close to something like that. But in reality, it was just like, so why did you keep my number? Like, that's like my number one, that's my question. Why did you keep my number if you have a girl? So in my head, I'm thinking, like, it can't be that serious if she's still willing to have a conversation with me. But then again, people can, want other relationships outside of their relationship, so I guess I can understand that. But again, this is what she said was not going on. She said that she was strictly there. What was that? Hold on. Okay, so she said that she was strictly there because, she was there to help, and how her ex don't have no family there, and she's not going to just leave her. And I was like, yeah, you shouldn't. Like, in my head, I honestly was just like, this isn't going to work out anyway. Like, it doesn't matter how she puts it. It's not going to work out anyway, because I already see it not working out. Like, I never really grew feelings for her. I grew comfortable with the routine that we had. We talked to each other every day. As far as it trying to be anything other than a friendship, I wasn't really, like, concerned about. If she were to get into a relationship, like, how would that work for the next person? I asked her, I said, am I the first person you have talked to since y'all relationship? And they've been together for 2 years. So she was like, yeah. Now, listen to this. They broke up in October. And the situation occurred because of how she felt like her ex were a little too friendly at the baby's birthday party. From that, that led her to say, like, okay, we're done. So I say that all to say that it was an argument to be had, but it wasn't nothing that I would look at and be like, okay, like, I'm done with you. Like, another thing that she would continuously tell me is like you don't understand, like, it's more to the story that I haven't told you, or I felt like I told you what I need to tell you. And I was like, you don't need to tell me anything. But I do feel like if you're going to sit here and try to portray this I want to be with you type of vibe that you giving off, then you gonna have to do something about that, because I'm not okay with the fact that you trying to pursue something with me, but yet you're in the bed at night with your ex. And she's like, yeah, but we don't have sex, we don't kiss, we don't call each other baby, we don't tell each other I love you. But in all reality, y'all schedule basically works as if y'all was still together. You do everything that you have been doing for her besides kissing up on her and like the intimacy. That's the only thing that changes. So with that being said, I don't really see a big difference between being together and not being together. When she went out on Friday, when she went out with me on Saturday, and her friend, I was just like, okay, like, you know, she's out, we out late. But this is the thing. So we out, she gets a phone call. I'm on the phone with her. I didn't know she got a phone call until later on when she told me. She told me to hold on, I believe. I held on, but then I was like, hello? Like, it's been a minute, like, hello? She didn't answer, so I hung up. She gets back on the phone with me. She calls me, and she's talking to her friend in the passenger seat, and she's just like, yeah, I don't understand why she even care. Like, we not together. We ain't doing shit together. Like, I don't understand why this would bother her. I said, okay, I don't want to hear this coming when you done hung up. She called me back, and she started talking about it a little bit more, and then I was like, I don't want to hear it. And she was like, I'm done. So basically, her ex, we had got in the house about 7 a.m. and her ex was calling her like, yo, really, like, where you at? Like, you know, it's late. I didn't know you was gonna be out this late. And she was telling her friend, like, why does it matter? Like, we not even together. Like, you don't want to me, you don't want to kiss me, da 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 da. They hadn't had in like 2 months. They broke up in October. Like, it's certain things that I was, for some reason, the way she fed it to me, I was like, okay, you're a really caring person. Like, you doing all of this for her, and to me, you not getting nothing in return. So another thing I noticed was that she was driving a car that I didn't really like. When I would be on FaceTime with her, when she would pick up the baby, I thought the car was white. So I asked her, I said, what color is your car? And she was like, oh, my car is black, but I drive her car around because I don't want all the mileage on my new car. Now, this is kind of irrelevant, but it's another like small lie that I feel like she told, because I've never seen her car. And then like a day or two after I asked her about her car, or she told me what kind of car she had, she got into an accident. So I hadn't spoke to her all that day. But okay, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because I had to stop and go. Okay, so basically I met this girl at the club. I found out she had a girlfriend. I wasn't interested anymore. She still kept my number. She hit me up. We talked. We kikied a few times. She would call me back and forth, but there was a few red flags that were brought to my attention that I didn't really know whether or not they were red flags. So I continued to talk to her to try to figure out, you know, am I thinking too much into it? Because when I came out here, I was under the impression that people from Atlanta do you dirty. Like, so when I meet people, I fill them out because I don't want to initially be like, oh, you a crook. But I do have like things, like questions that raise in my head, because I'm just like, what type of person are you? Fast forward, we getting to know each other. The following weekend, so we met on a Saturday. The following Saturday, I went out with her and her friend, and another red flag was raised, but it wasn't like too major. It wasn't nothing against the fact that she has a girlfriend. Well, nothing against the fact that she has an ex that she's living with. She told me about her vehicle, but there's a situation that happened before the whole vehicle thing that kind of raised an eyebrow. I met her on Saturday. The following Saturday we went out, and let's just say the next Wednesday or Tuesday I came to her crib. She told me to come over. She said she had hurt her foot and she thought that I didn't care. So I was like, what's your idea? I'm coming. And she didn't believe me. She's like, it's too far, don't worry about it. But by that time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just show her that I care. Mind you, she lives an hour plus away. So I get about 30 minutes to her house, well, her mom's, and I call her like 30 minutes prior to me getting there, and I'm like calling her. Of course she's not answering the phone, so she was asleep. So eventually she calls me back. Now at the point where she called me back, I'm pulling out of the complex, like I'm about to leave. Like I should have, like, I was trying to be cute in a way, like try to surprise her, but then I was like, let me call her so she'll at least be ready, like, you know, showered and ready to go, so we don't have to sit around, because I didn't know how that was gonna go about. I wanted to get food and all of that. So she didn't answer. She called me back. I was pulling out, but I said I'll come back. I had a little attitude, but I knew I was gonna get over it, because at the end of the day, I knew that she was gonna end up going to sleep. Like, she hadn't slept in a minute. So she like, come back. We go to get food, and I don't know, for some reason I just got the impression that she was like real nervous around me, but she, every time I asked her, she say no, she's not nervous around me. But she has like two personalities that I see, and the one that I like, I don't see it as much as the one that I don't like. So that's what makes me not really care for her too. Like, she has a sweet, goofy personality that I love, and then she has a very arrogant, rude, nonchalant demeanor about her that I get most of the time. So it's just like, I'm not really interested in that. We end up going to get food, and we get back to her mom's house. She tells me to get out the car, and we go to her mom's. I'm sitting there, and eventually she like convinced me to take off of work, and she took off of work too. I called out, and then once she realized that I called out for real, she gets on the phone with her ex, and she's having a conversation with her ex, and she tells her ex, yeah, I'm about to take some medicine and doze off, and basically saying like, I mean, if you call me and I don't answer, you know, or you text me and I'm not answering, it's because I'm asleep. Like, I'm taking some pills, I'm in pain. Like, that's how she made it feel. Girl, you wasn't in pain. You was walking regular, you stubbed your toe. Like, get over it. That was a big red flag. Like, the little minor lies, like, I feel like she lied about her cell phone being off. Who the fuck cares? I feel like she lied about, I don't know. I'm still like trying to fill out the fact that if she got a car or not, because when the accident took place, she didn't call me on FaceTime. We was having a conversation, and we was like going back and forth, because I felt some type of way about I think her not like answering my phone calls or something. So, and then she was like, do you know what type of day I had? Like, I got in an accident this morning. My face is swollen, my foot is worse, I got a ticket because they said it was my fault. And I'm telling her, I'm like, well, tell me about your day, like, what's going on, like, go into depth. And she's like, no, I don't feel like talking about it right now. And that kind of like drew a red flag for me too, because I'm just like, okay, so if I give you a day to where you ready to talk about it, I just feel like you just gonna be so fluent with what happened. Like, it's not gonna bother you. You're gonna have a whole story put together on what happened. And that's exactly what happened. The following day, I'm like, you know what's going on, and she sent me a picture of like her face, where it kind of looked like she could have done that, and like there was like a scratch. She wears glasses, so there was like a scratch right on her nose, and like right here, kinda. It was like really minor, and I was thinking to myself, well, like, damn, if you hit your face on the steering wheel and that happened, like, wouldn't your glasses have like broke or like been like crooked or something, you know? Because that's where it looked like it was. But it to me, it looked like she went like this, so her face could be a little bit puffier because she has naturally chubby cheeks, and as if she scratched a pimple. That's what it looked like to me. So yeah, that's why I was just like, like I feel like that whole car situation may be a lie too. And she always mentioned how she made good money and da da da. I don't knock her for what she's doing. It's just like, I don't like to have this intuition that's telling me that you're lying, because 9 times out of 10, when you feel like somebody isn't telling the truth about something, it ends up being true. So if this is true, that you're lying to me about these small things, I just don't understand why. Like, what is the purpose of doing that? So back to the story. I go to her house, she told her ex that, and I'm like I'm listening to her because I'm on the couch and she's doing whatever she's doing in the kitchen, and I'm listening to her. I'm like, what? Like, if you and your ex ain't nothing, then what is the issue? Like, why do you have to lie to her about what you're doing? One, this is your mother's house. You don't have to tell her anything about me, but what's the point of lying? If you aren't going to talk to her for a few hours, then you just aren't going to talk to her for a few hours. Like, what's the issue? So that was big red flag number 1. Big red flag number 2 was, we went to the park that same day. We had fun playing around and shit, and then we get in the car, and this is again where I felt like she was like nervous, because the first time I felt like she was nervous is because we got in a car and she was basically telling me how I'm a brat. I was a little bothered by the fact that she was asleep and not answering the phones, which was something minor because I was gonna get over it regardless. I knew she was tired. So she called her cousin, and while we were sitting in the car, and mind you, this is our first time really seeing each other outside of a club. So I mean, she came to visit me once while I was at work, but it was a 30-minute break, so you can imagine how that went. It didn't last long. We was just goofing around. This time around, when I came to her, I expected for us to at least have conversation, but she called her cousin, and then they were on the phone from the time I left her mom's house to the time I pulled up to Taco Bell to the time that I pulled back to her mom's house. And while she was talking to her cousin, they had lost connection briefly, and she was like, yeah, she can talk for hours. And I'm like, but you called her. And she's like, yeah, that's my baby. And I'm just like, hey, exactly. Like, you knew exactly what you were doing. You called her knowing that you were in my presence, and even though she had called you and you were just giving her a call back, if you know she talked for hours, and at that point in time I didn't say that I was staying, that I wasn't going to work. So if you know she could talk for hours, why would you call her right then and there? Have that conversation when I leave. So that was why I felt like she was like nervous, or like she just awkward, like the social anxiety type thing. So we have fun at the park, we get back in the car, and now it's time for another opportunity for us to get to know each other, car talks. But when we got in the car, she immediately pulled out her phone. I sat there and I watched her for a few seconds before I was like, I don't have my phone now, put your phone away. And she didn't. She started to show me pictures, and then she showed me a video of her ex, of that Snapchat video where the spider crawls all over you, and her ex didn't notice at first, and then when she did, she freaked out, and I just laughed. But it was just like, why are you showing me this? Come on, if I'm somebody that you like or you trying to get to know, then why do you feel the need to continuously bring up your ex? Because prior to that, within the first week of us talking, she was sitting on the couch, and on their TV screen a slideshow pops up, I guess, when you don't touch the TV for a minute. So the slideshow was of her ex, and the baby. And she was like, yeah, look. And she was just showing me, and I didn't take it away, because at that point I didn't like her. I wasn't trying to like her. I really thought that we were just gonna be friends. So that was the second time she had showed me her ex, and I was just like, I don't think you really understand like boundaries between you and getting to know someone, but you want me to understand boundaries as far as when you're home, you can't have a conversation with me on the phone. You won't even walk outside to have a conversation with me. If I called her, she would immediately end the call and she would text me and say she's off today. She did that one time, and then I went off on her about it. And that's when the whole, you don't even know what type of day I had, that's when the whole car situation story took place. So immediately after she showed me the video, I was like, alright, I'm taking you home. And then she was like, okay, let me get a kiss before we move. And I said no. So she, asked a few more times, and I guess she thought I was playing because I was smiling. But then at a point, I just like got quiet. I had like a little smirk on my face, but it was more so of like, yeah, I know exactly where this is going, and I'm over it. So over it. She was like, what's wrong with you? Like, this is not you. And I'm just like, no, nothing's bothering me. So we pull up to her mom's house. She's like, pull around the corner, I want my kiss. She was like, I'm not ready to go yet, and I want my kiss. And I'm like, nope, get out. And she's like, you serious? I said, yeah, get out. And she was like, yo, you bugging. And she texted me, she's like, yo, what's wrong? So I basically told her, I'm just like, how, in a nutshell, it basically ended up in the conversation of like, why do you feel like it's okay to continuously bring up your family when we're trying to get to know one another? Like, my time with you is my time with you, and if you want me to understand your boundaries as far as what you and your ex have going on, and I need to respect that, then I need you to personally respect the fact that you're trying to get to know me on another level other than friends. So you need to already have known boundaries. Like, and she's just like, you gotta understand, like, I'm human, like, I make mistakes. I've been in situations where what you're doing, I know why you're doing it. Like, I was basically telling her, like, I feel like you still like are in a relationship. Like, y'all relationship is not over with. Like, or if anything, you're not over her. Like, she can be over you and tell you that she don't want you to touch her, or she don't want to, she don't know what y'all doing. Like, she would tell me how she continuously asked her, like, what are we doing, like, what do you want to do? And her ex will always say, like, I don't know. So she took that as like the opportunity to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna do my own thing. You're not giving me, even though, and this is another thing that I'm just putting together. You broke up with her, but now you're asking her, what are y'all doing? But then you mentioned to me that you're in her house. So if you're in her house, you broke up with her. You left when you broke up. You recently went back, and she went back around the time that she met me. Why are you asking her, what are you doing? Obviously, you still want to be in a situation with her, but she's not giving off that same energy. So what are you doing? Now that I think about it, and she was just like, no, it's not like that. Like, we're not together, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. Well, I don't want to deal with it because I just feel like it's a messy situation. Like, I've been there already. And she's like, you can't blame that on me. Like, your past relationships can't reflect on what we got going on. I'm sitting here trying to fight for you. I don't do this unless I really like somebody, and da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, that's great. That's great that you feel like you are fighting for this 1 week and a half situationship that we got going on, but it's unnecessary because I already have in my head that y'all together. So with that being said, I continued to talk to her. I was basically telling her, like, yo, I've came to the conclusion that I do not want to, like, I 100% do not want to deal with somebody that is in a relationship. And when I text you, if you're around her, you're not gonna text me back. You're gonna text me back when she's not paying attention or when you're not around her. You don't, if you're around her, I can't call you. You're gonna decline my calls. You can't answer the phone and be like, hey, I can't talk right now. Out of respect for me and out of respect for her. it don't come off that way. What it do come off as is you're being sneaky. I felt like I handled myself well. With that being said, and there's more to the story, but we haven't been together. Like, there's absolutely nothing going on between us, and I 100% believe that. I believe they are not having sex. I believe they are not intimate. I believe they do not kiss. I believe that they do not be hugged up. But I do believe that that is exactly how a relationship goes when you're over a certain part of the relationship, but not over the relationship as a whole. You can be emotionally disconnected from a person, but spiritually be intact with that person, so your relationship will not end. She asked her ex if she was still in love with her, and she said, well, she asked her, she was like, do you love me? And her ex was like, of course I love you. Like, I'm gonna always love you. And she was like, are you in love with me? And she was like, I don't know. I asked her, I said, well, are you in love with her? And she said, not anymore. When she have conversation with her ex, she brings it back to me. And I respect her for that, because it lets me get a little bit more of a gist of the fact that they're in a relationship. So it's cool. But I just feel like she has disconnected herself emotionally, or is trying to, because her ex doesn't want to be with her. I kind of see it a little bit like as if I could be playing the like rebound role. It plays off of two predicaments that I've been in before, and one is in which my ex basically told me she was over her ex, and then 6 months down the line she's like apologizing to me because she was looking for her ex in me. So that way, and then another way is just like, you want to have your cake and eat it too. Like, you want to be in a relationship with this girl because this is what you're comfortable with, but she's not giving you what you want, so you want to look for it elsewhere as well, and you're trying to play both roles, you're trying to play both sides. And instead of you just being straight up about it and allowing somebody as an adult to pick and choose whether or not they would want to deal with that or not, you'd rather lie in their face. So I didn't take it as being respectful on my part. I took it as she's being sneaky, like, and I can't F with that. You tell me, y'all. You tell me how you feel about the situation of what I told you so far. But that is a sum up of everything that has gone on. And I just want to know, based off of that, is she in a relationship? Like, or is she genuinely being helpful to this girl? And the way that I felt like, you know, she could be being helpful to her and get, you know, like, I thought that she was being like really generous to this girl because she actually cares about her and she's a good, helpful person. What is she doing for you? Because that's a lot. That is a lot on someone. You know, that is a lot. Again, I don't know. She never sent me pictures of her accident, you know, of her vehicle. She was saying, yeah, so my vehicle's gone. And I'm like, but how? She's like, she hit the back of it. Like, the lady hit the back of it, but she got a ticket for it. And I'm like, but if somebody hits the back of your car, they're automatically at fault. And then she was like being defensive. I know. That's why my stepdad is going to come with me to the court so I can fight it, this, that, and the third. So it was just certain situations within that situation that I just was like looking at it and I'm like, I don't want to deal. So I basically sent her a big old text message of what I noticed throughout the relationship. Like, you don't text, you claim that you text and call me while she's, well, you claim that you'll text me all day while she's around you, but I made that clear that wasn't true. Like, I made that clear, when she's around you, you do not text me. You text at a fast pace, but when she's around, you do not text me at a fast pace. You do not answer my phone calls. You don't even step outside to have a conversation with me. And then her excuse was, but I got in an accident. Mind you, 2 days. I said, so when did the doctor say you have to, when you can go back to work? She's like, well, 3 days. And she was like, but it works out because I'm off tomorrow and Saturday, and then Sunday is the third day. I'll just go back. And I'm thinking, like, 3 days, and they gave it was like fractured, I assume, like she heard it. So she was walking around with slippers, and she was like, she couldn't put a shoe on. Now after this accident, she had to wear a boot, and she was saying it wasn't her mom's, but while we were at her mom's house, she was asking her mom where was her boot, and her mom was like, it's upstairs. So she wasn't talking about boots, she was talking about a boot. And I'm assuming her mom hurt herself at one point in time, and she was going to wear her boot because her foot was hurting. So when she brought up the fact that she had to wear a boot, she was like, yeah, and I would have just wore my mom's, but her boot is more like a shoe, where this boot comes up to past my calves. And I've never seen her mom's boot, so she may or may have not been telling the truth. But I just feel like if you were to get into an accident, one, I'm taking pictures and I'm gonna send it to you. She took a picture later on of her swollen face, like later on that night, and that's when I seen the scratch, and I'm just like, So all that to say, like, I just really can't believe that. Like, I don't know why I don't know why she feels like she has to lie to me about certain stuff. And I feel like with those little minor things that I keep bringing up, I feel like that's why it's hard for me to distinguish between whether or not she is keeping it real with me. But if her ex found out that she was dealing with a female, you know, her ex would be like, all right, well, you can go, like, you can leave, like, you don't have to stay here if that's what we're doing. That's what I feel like will happen. And it's not like she's going to be homeless. She has her mom, but I don't think she's over leaving that situation. And of course, because the baby, like, you grow a connection with someone and their child, like, you know, what are you to do? And to continue on, so like I'm falling back, you know, like at this point I'm falling back, but I'm still having conversation with her. But she told me, she brought up the fact that, okay, they're having Thanksgiving together, so she's gonna go to her mom's house, and her ex and the baby are gonna be there too. That's cool. And then for Christmas, her mom was planning to take them on a little, you know, daycation or whatever, and it's a family thing where they'll have matching clothes and stuff like that. So she had mentioned her ex's name to her cousin that she was having a conversation with about the event, and they were saying something about sizes, and she said her ex's name, and I said, where you going? And she was like, oh, my mom is planning this such and such for Christmas, and she wants us to wear matching pajamas. And I'm like, oh, okay. So basically it's just like, wow, like you're planning a whole family gather, like your family don't even know that y'all are broken up. That's just it. You guys are not broken up. I don't care what you say. Like, how, Sway, like, how? I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm gonna continue talking to her. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna stop talking to her because she's a cool person, but I wouldn't date her. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna fall for her. Like, that's not gonna happen. I know what type of person she is. I already got a side eye with her, so I'm not gonna fall for her. So I won't drop her because I'm not gonna date her. I know already off rip I'm not gonna date her. But I just want y'all to know, based off of the story that I've told you for the past hour, what the heck do you think? Like, is she genuinely a nice person who is just, you know, happy and content with her family living, and she doesn't want to leave her because the girl won't have anybody, you know, to look for? Like she don't want to leave her because she don't want her ex to be alone. Do you feel like that is genuine and that is the only reason she's sticking around? Or do you feel like the relationship is not over? It's not over, but she knows it's over in her heart emotionally, but in reality, technically, it's not over. Just say yes or no. If this girl has a girlfriend, yes. Comment yes. If she has a girlfriend, comment yes. If she does not have a girlfriend, comment no. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys sitting through this long a video. If you have, if you haven't, I don't care. At least you watched a little bit of it. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys again for watching. Subscribe to my channel and go the fuck. I'll see you in the next video. So there's a few more things that I wanted to add to the video because I'm sitting at work listening to myself talk. So just so I won't forget it, because I didn't write this specific thing down. When she hurt her foot, when she initially hurt her foot, not talking about the accident, but when she hurt her foot, she said she couldn't put shoes on. Maybe 3 days, 4 days later, the accident happened, and she was told that she had to wear a boot, and that she got this boot because I'm guessing she got medical help because it wasn't her mom's boot. So she didn't go into details with me. I mentioned that she didn't want to talk about it right then and there. We weren't arguing at that time. It was like later on that day, and I'm just like, okay, you know, she still was bringing it up, like, yeah, I had a terrible day or whatever. And I'm like, well, talk to me about it. And she's like, no. So the next day she was ready to talk to me about it. But back to the boot. So we went out that Saturday. She got into an accident, let's say Thursday. We went out Saturday, and I was just playfully telling her, like, if you're going to wear that boot, you need to wear something to match it. Like, I don't want you to wear that boot around me. I don't want you to have that boot on. Like, it's going to throw everything off. I was dead at, I'm not that type of person. Like, if you have an injury and you have to wear a cast or a boot or something, like, I will never, like, say, oh, I'm not going to hang around you because it's going to make me look bad. Like, that's not my character at all. But I was doing it specifically with her to see if she would wear the boot or if she wouldn't. So long story short, she did not wear that boot. She wore Timberlands. And I said, this is I did that purposely to see if it was like really an injury. If you got put in a boot and it's not a boot that you got from home and you just decided to put it on yourself, if you got you know, injured, you're not taking that boot off for nothing. Then I was playfully saying, when I did see her in the Timberlands, I said, I'm going to step on your foot. Which one is it? And she was like, stop, because I got it wrapped up good. Now, y'all know how Timberlands fit, so I'm not even going to go into detail. Wrapped up. Okay, sis. So, I still like you, though. We still cool, okay? We still cool. The day that she had gotten to the accident, I called her, I guess, when her, and I don't usually call her, and this is exactly why, because when I feel like somebody has somebody at home and it's a complicated situation, I don't like to put myself in a predicament where the girl going to answer the phone like, what the fuck you want? Who is this? Why you calling? Like, I don't want to put myself in that predicament. No, it's never happened, but I don't want it to, you know? So this specific time I did call her, and she declined my call, texted me and told me she's off today. And that's when the whole accident took place. She said that the reason why she declined my call and the reason why she didn't step outside, one, is because her and the girl were in mid-conversation about what they were having for dinner or whatever, or lunch or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. So you were in mid-conversation, but you could decline my call and quickly text me immediately afterward, but you're in mid-conversation and you just couldn't, like, okay. And then she was saying how she couldn't go outside because you know, she had the boot on and she didn't want to walk or whatever the case might be. Oh, and then after the fact that she got into the accident, her constant remark on why she, like, I would playfully be like, when you gonna come see me? You gonna come see me at work? And I know, like, at some point she'll be like, oh, I'm dropping the baby off at her grandparents' house, but then I gotta be here by a certain time to pick old girl up from work. So basically her ex, she had to pick her up from work, but she didn't have the baby. So I was asking her, like, was she gonna come see me? And like, different different times that I would ask, is she gonna come see me, are we doing something this weekend, or whatever the case may be, she was like, yeah, and you know I don't have my car anymore. Girl, it's been 2 weeks, I've never seen your car. Like, don't start bringing that shit up now about how you don't have your car. Like, that wasn't a factor before, because you never had your car. Like, I never seen your car. So anyway, like, that she is staying with her ex, and I don't know whether it's like genuinely to help her out and just be by her side, but her ex is like, her ex is financially well, as she tells me, and she speaks on herself as well, that she's financially well, so she can take care of herself as well as her ex can take care of herself as well financially. Also, her ex does have family out here, but I don't know the situation. So I don't care to like go into depth about it, but she does have immediate family out here. I brought this all up to her, and this was like her response on why she wouldn't do, or why she did do certain things that she did. And she was like, the reason that she told her ex that she was taking some medicine and going to sleep the day that I called out of work so we could spend the rest of the day together is because she was washing the clothes for them, and she didn't want her ex to come there and pick up the baby's clothes. She didn't want her to just stop by, and she not know. Like, it would be kind of like an unannounced type thing, and she didn't want that to happen. I'm not confrontational, so I mean, she could be trying to avoid something, but I just know I'm not the type to be confrontational. And when I pulled up to her mom's house, I didn't see the car, so I didn't even think that, oh, her ex dropped her off, because she always has her ex's car. So I figured, her ex was working, and that was that. But little did I know, her ex had dropped her off that morning, and her ex was off. So her ex could have popped up at any time, and she wouldn't have known until she got there. So that was her reasoning for telling her that little lie. And with that being said, I just feel like everything that she told me, based off of what I brought up on why I feel like they're in a relationship, or why I feel like a little iffy about the situation, she tried to cover it up with what she felt was like a reasonable excuse. But honestly, girl, I don't care. Like, it still doesn't make sense, so make it make sense. What am I missing? Like, what am I missing? I don't think when you do something for somebody and you genuinely want to help out a person, I don't think that you need something in return. So let me clear that up. Although I feel like all that she does is a lot for her to just say, like, I just do this for her, and that's all it is. I feel like it's just something more to it. Give me this big piece of the puzzle. I'm ready to complete it. Like, if you're not gonna give me the this corner piece, like, I'm just gonna have to fill it in myself. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to have to find the piece myself. And when looking at what you have gave me, it's easy to find that missing piece. I know for a fact I wouldn't date her. I wouldn't have sex with her. I wouldn't do anything with her besides kiss her and hang out with her. I'm still interested in knowing, because it's just like, I just asked you the other day why y'all motherfuckers is so sneaky and grimy, and you the motherfucker that's sneaky and grimy, and what you tell me? I don't know, that's why I stay to myself. Well, maybe you shouldn't stay to your motherfucking self. Maybe you should hang around some humble ass motherfuckers so you can learn how to be humble yourself. Because that's another thing about her, she is real ignorant. Like, she be talking down on people, and that's something I just don't care for. Like, when people tease other people about what they got and what they don't have, I just look at it like, ugh, like, who are you, sus? Like, she was explaining to me this one time about when we met, she was out with a group of people that was basically begging her to come out for their birthday, and she was like, yo, they're lames. Like, they were nobodies in high school, and they just kept begging me. I could show you the text messages. They was just begging me to come out. So I just was like, okay, let me make their birthday, let me, like, make their day and just show up for a few. But I was bored, and and I'm just like, who are you? Like, what? Like, ew. Like, all I kept saying was like, ew, stop. Like, ew. She was like, no, I'm serious. I was like, please stop. Like, ew. I don't even remember them. Like, it was this one time where I was at Walmart and this guy from high school came up to me and said my name, and I just looked at him like, who are you? And he was like, you remember me? I'm such and such. And he was just telling me about myself, and I'm just like, okay, have a nice day. And I'm just like, oh wow, like but the reason why it's like I'm like whatever with it is because honestly, the people that I have met out here, I've met a few humble and genuine people. Yes, I have. I'm not going to say I haven't. I have met humble people, but a lot of people that I also have met are just really grimy and like they just move funny, okay? And where I'm from, people tell you how it is, what it is, and where it is, and you either take it or leave it. If you don't fuck with them, you don't fuck with them. If you fuck with them, you fuck with them. It's no wishy-washy type stuff. But the way I'm moving, because I'm new here, I'm just like, okay, let me feel this person out. And if I understand this person and how they move, I won't judge you for the person you are and how you move. I'll just move differently. So I'm not gonna put forth all of the energy that I can, the positive energy that I can to somebody that I know has positive energy to reflect, if I know you don't have that to give. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be laid back a bit. I'm not gonna be, easy to manipulate. There we go. That's exactly how I move with people out here, because I don't have time for you to be trying to play with my feelings. Like, nobody got time for that. So thank you. Have a good day. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am glad to have gotten this off my chest, and I hope that somebody comments. Hey guys, one more thing, okay? So I did not mention this other red flag that popped up. When I first met her, I had asked her if she had social media, if she got on social media. And I think I specifically asked if she had an Instagram, and she was like, yeah, but I don't get on it. Like, I literally got like 400 followers. And I'm like, me too. I kind of like brushed it off. But then later on, I asked her again. I don't know why I asked her again, but the conversation came up again about social media, and she just kept saying how she don't get on it, like she don't use it. And then later on down the line, I realized that she's on social media. For her to say that she don't use it, and like she says it in a way of like, nah, like I legit don't use it, like I don't care to go on social media, because there are people like that. I really took it like as if she don't use it, but then it's like every single day that we talk, I know she's on social media. Like, she's either on a Snapchat, on Facebook, or Instagram. So I just thought it was funny that she would always tell me like she don't be on social media. Like, that's something she don't do. And then I was thinking about in the back of my head, like, well, maybe she don't want me to have her social media, because I've asked her probably like twice, and I don't know why or how it came about, but I've asked her, and like she'll just shut it down, like, nah, I don't be on it, like I don't do that. So yeah, now I'm officially done with saying what I feel like got me thinking like this girl is iffy.